Joining me now in studio with more is Matthew Dubin. He's a portfolio manager at Avantis Investors. Also one of this afternoon's closing bell ringers. Avantis Investors is going to be up there on the podium for the close. Matthew, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And as this market does continue its record run, what storylines are you following most closely?
I think the thing that we've noticed a lot recently is we've had a lot of clients that have historically maybe just been investing in U.S. large caps, U.S. large cap growth. And now has been a time, as to your point, we've seen these historic rises in the S&P 500 and U.S. large caps generally, that now has been a time that clients and investors out there have really started to move assets towards international and emerging market portfolios, and then also in small caps, whether that's in the U.S. or outside the U.S.
This afternoon, as I mentioned earlier, you are going to be on site, part of the closing bell group, up there on the podium as the markets finish to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of your firm's first fixed income listings. What more can you share about those?
Yeah, so these are active fixed income ETFs, and we think these have been products that have actually received a lot of flows recently as investors have sort of seen the drawbacks of indexed products, and they want some sort of active management that can give them what they like about an index product, but with outperformance at the end of the day.
And how are you giving investors exposure to fixed income in what you say are products that don't compete with each other?
Yeah. So we have an intermediate grade bond fund and also a short-term fixed income. Those are two of the funds that we're here to celebrate today. And these are products that, they might look a lot like the benchmark, but they're competitively priced and actually deliver that outperformance at the end of the day.
The Fed, of course, is set to deliver its next interest rate decision on Wednesday. Markets, by and large, pricing in another 1/4 percentage point rate cut. The government is still shut down. Trade talks are underway in Asia, where President Donald Trump is set to meet with China's President Xi Jinping on Thursday. What is your advice to investors who are navigating a headline-driven market?
I think this is where we really come back and think about global diversification, not just on the equity side, but also in the fixed income side. Investors that haven't been as globally diversified this year with all of this going on have suffered as international and emerging markets have tended to outperform the U.S. so far.
Of course, flows are an important thing to track, and you mentioned emerging markets and international markets as a key topic here. Why do you think that we're seeing the flows to that extent in those markets?
Yeah, I think you really started to see this in February and March of this year, and it's sort of picked up steam as the year's gone along. Investors have seen the lofty valuations that you might get from a U.S. large cap growth fund or the S&P 500. And because of that, outside of the U.S. and even in small caps in the international and emerging market space, valuations do look really attractive. And as the dollar's weakened a bit this year, those have been funds that have performed really well.
What are the biggest factors impacting your ETFs?
So for us, when we design our portfolios, we're really focused on buying companies with very attractive valuations and also highly profitable at the same time. It's not alone enough for us to say, hey, this is a company that has a cheap price. It has to have a good price and also be making money at the same time.
Yeah. And in terms of your afternoon celebration for Avantis Investors here at this New York Stock Exchange, what are you most looking forward to?
I've never been here, and it's such an historic site, and I guess I'm lucky enough to be gaveling out the closing bell, so I'm just excited to be here and be part of that history.
Yeah, we're happy to have you indeed. Matthew Dubin, he's a portfolio manager at Avantis Investors, on site for the close. Matthew, thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Yep.